Hey yo everybody, Haku here with this week's review of this week's Tower of God chapter, of course. Chapter 302 this week, so Season 2, Episode 222. Lots of twos in there. But this one was a bit shorter than normal, like quite a bit shorter, but it was still really good. There were a lot of things that I really liked about it. Like actual lengthwise, usually if you separate it into like pages like a normal manga streaming site would, it's usually around 100 to 120 some pages, but this one separated up into pages is like 80 some. I know because I sometimes use the other manga sites that have it to like get pictures for the thumbnail or whatever. So yeah, this one was way shorter, and I noticed it while reading too, that I was like, even though I felt like I was talking about a lot that was off topic, I still got done with the live reaction in I think under 15 minutes, maybe. So I was like, okay, this was kind of a short one this week. But even so, there were things I liked and didn't like. So let's get into it. There will be no blog information like last week. Last week I had a ton of blog information for the review, for the review it was like half the video, but we didn't really have anything too important in the blog this week. Nothing really notable at all, actually. So getting into the actual chapter, we have the bet between Yuri and Misheni that we were having discussed at the end of last chapter. We actually get some more elucidation on that. And pretty much we find out from Misheni that Yuri wants to change the tower, and of course Misheni is trying to bet her Yellow May for Yuri's Green April. And odd again that Yuri notes, odd that it's the Green April and not the Black March. But Misheni really needs the Green April in particular for some reason that she doesn't tell us. And Yuri, of course, can't refuse because Misheni says if she does, she won't be able to get on the Hell Train. So she's pretty much being forced into this bet that she's not even going to find out the actual terms to until later. But like a lot of us have been assuming and talking about, it'll probably be something along the lines of my little regular princesses can be your little regular princesses. So maybe something like that. But Yuri is suspicious once the call ends. Like, she really does a good job of analyzing the situation, and that's another scene I really liked this chapter, is when she's analyzing like everything Misheni said, like, why does she want this but not this? Why can't she tell me this? It's odd that she even contacted me. So I do think it was really cool to see Yuri being suspicious there, and it shows that Yuri isn't that dumb. She has some brain power up there. Then Karaka's entrance, and I loved Karaka's entrance. It was incredible. The art when he was just like facing off against Yuri, and the two of them talk back and forth. Like he was upset that Yuri killed Pedro. He's like, "You killed one of my beloved servants, and I can't just lose something that means something to me and sit back and do nothing, can I?" And Yuri's like, well, I heard you were insane. Looks like that's true, but I got some business with you two. So I loved their conversation and showdown. The art for their faces and everything was really nice. And then Karaka charging up the Shinsu Bong. Sorry about the train in the background once again. What is it this week? But him charging up the Shinsu Bong looked awesome. Like, it was this weird, like, black and gold sort of pattern. It just looked really awesome. We cut to Bomb Coon's ship and Lorray sitting around, and Lorray had a really funny comedic relief scene. But pretty much the train is leaving soon, like really soon, like the night that they're just talking kind of soon. And they're going to need to be on it. And they're worried, or at least Coon is worried, because some of their members of their team, like Rack, are still injured. I'm wondering now if Novik, Ron, Jaja, and Dan will be going with them or not, because it seems like Ship's team isn't going with them, and it also seems like Elaine isn't, sadly. Ship says that Elaine already left, I believe. At least I think it was Ship that said that, which is really sad. I hope somehow she does end up on the train with them. So I don't know. I'm really upset that we're just going to say goodbye to Elaine. I mean, she'll probably come back in later in the story at some point, but still, just her vanishing for now with an off-screen goodbye. I'm not liking the off-screen goodbye, just like I don't like when they pulled the off-screen ending to fights. Hatsu is still training, which is cool. Then we find out Alphine is the one taking over the station. We see Lulu with her, and the pink-haired chick, and Red Greymon. Then we have the scene with all three of them near like at Rack's bedside, like Raccoon and Bomb, and it was so good. I loved seeing the interactions between those three. Coon teasing Rack about losing was great. So really all of that was just nice moments. I like when Coon and Bomb talk, and Bomb like is smiling on the outside, but in the inside he's like, you know, I almost wish I could have been a god, or I almost wish we could be gods. It's just a really nice look into Bomb's mentality. Then Androssi bursts in, and she wants to go to the Floor of Death to find who I'm assuming to be Garam Zahard, which is pretty hype to me. I would love to see Androssi going and looking for Garam. That would be a really cool storyline. And she doesn't want to go alone. She's too scared to go alone, but she thinks that it might be possible to actually do it, to actually go to the Floor of Death and find the person she's looking for if she has Ryun with her. So, really cool and really interesting that she brought up Ryun of all people when it seems like her and Ryun were never really close in any way. Also, I thought it was hilarious the way she's talking about going, and Bomb is like trying to put it off like he doesn't want her to go, but he's like, no, you can totally come with us. I think it might be okay, and he's like giving her half answers and stuff. I think it's really funny, Bomb like not wanting her to go because he doesn't want to deal with her around Yuri. Then they all hear this noise outside, and it's Yuri and Karaka fighting, and that's where we end up. What I thought, I was like, at first I was like, I don't know what's going to happen with Yuri, but now I'm convinced Yuri's safe. She isn't going to die, because we still have the stuff going on with Machete that would probably not be brought up if they were going to kill Yuri off. So I am feeling no death flags for Yuri right now. I do think that Karaka and Bomb are going to get to meet face-to-face Slayer and Slayer Candidate for the first time, and I also think that Jinsung is going to get involved because Jinsung is here. I do think there may even be a chance that Jinsung dies to protect Bomb or to let Bomb escape, just because it would be the whole trope of like the apprentice killing the master and all of that, and Bomb being the sibling apprentice all angry. Actually, now that I didn't think about it before, but that would actually kind of be too Naruto Jiraiya and Pain like. But either way, I think that's a total possibility that could happen, is that Jinsung could die to Karaka, because it would boost Karaka's reputation as an incredibly strong and growing person. And like I keep feeling with Jinsung, he's so badass, and he's one of the kindest people from FUG to Bomb, and yet he's always referring to himself, I'm just some old man not in the history books and stuff. So I figured that he could die protecting Bomb, and like that could fire Bomb up to go after Karaka and change the tower and everything. So again, really, really cool stuff that we're being hyped up for. Hyped up for Androssi going after Garam to the Floor of Death if she goes with them, and I'd love to see Androssi go with them, so I'm really hyped about that as well. Also, Yuri and Androssi this chapter are both looking mighty sexy, and you guys know I'm not even like big into either of those as a waifu, but Androssi, let me tell you, this chapter, Yuri as well. Ever since she's been wearing that outfit, Yuri, my man. And then I loved the moments, maybe most of all I loved Karaka's entrance. His entrance was like the biggest hype portion of this chapter for me, but I also really loved the just conversation with Bomb, Coon, and Rack inside of that room. So overall, good chapter. I really liked it. I do think it was kind of small, and there were good parts, but there were also parts that I was just like, yeah, whatever. So overall, really, really good chapter, really solid. It's been a while since we had a chapter that wasn't good, so I mean, this really wasn't a huge surprise or anything. But good chapter. For a score, I think I'm going to give it 8 of them jogging outfits out of 10. So yeah, 8 out of 10. It was a really good chapter. I'll put it in the really good category, but it wasn't like perfect. It wasn't like near perfect. It was just really good. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Like if you did like the video, subscribe for more Tower of God and a bunch of other stuff as well. Comment down there. Tell me what you thought of my thoughts on this chapter and what you thought of this chapter yourselves. And then follow on Twitter if you want, and I'll try to keep you updated there as best I can on stuff for the channel, and that is it. So thank you. Thank you so much once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.